Hi friends, so today's gonna be a little bit of a different video. I'm gonna be doing like a makeup look. Yeah, I want to do more, I guess, reviews, demos, tutorials, so that's kind of what we're doing today. I recently purchased, I'll show you the other one, these Beauty Treats eyeshadow palettes. I got these off eBay. I'll link the shop in the description. I've been really into affordable palettes recently. I bought some more off eBay, so I'm planning on doing like a haul video soon. But for now, these are the palettes I got. But yeah, I got them from this business in Atlanta. I'll make sure to put them in the description as I mentioned earlier. But I just thought it was awesome that they still had these because I believe they're discontinued. But I got a hold of them because Sabrina here on YouTube, I'll put her in the description too. I've been a subscriber of hers for years now and I love her videos. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted these palettes, but I never had an opportunity to get my hands on them. So I got this is the spring one, then I have the smoky. But today I'm going to do a look with the spring palette, so I'm really excited about that. Yeah, I thought of using them interchangeably, but I kind of want to do them with each theme, so I'm going to do the spring one because I feel like these colors are really sticking out to me. But the reason why I got these is because they were dupes for the Viseart ones. I wouldn't say that they're dupes, I would say they perform similarly from what I've seen in Sabrina's videos. I just have iced coffee with me. But whenever I do my eye makeup, I always prep with MAC Prep and Prime 24-hour Studio Extend Eye Base, or it's just Extended Eye Base Prep and Prime. It's not from a studio line. This is the best eyeshadow primer I've ever used, and I've used so many. But this guy really does make your shadows the most vibrant and the most long wear out of any formula I've used. And then I'm gonna use my She Glam pressed powder as a transition. I used to use like a light beige shadow as a transition, but I've learned that for blending and transition, powder foundation works better because it's more pigmented. So I already did all my skin prep and everything, and my lips look swollen because I always do a lip plumper, and then I go in with a primer on top. So what I do is I put the plumper on, I let it sit for a minute or so, and then I go in with Q-tips and remove it off, and then I put a lip primer on top. And then today I used my Prep and Prime. But I will say I recently bought the ColourPop Lippy Sticks primer. It works pretty good. I would say it's pretty similar to MAC. With a lip primer, honestly, you can't go wrong. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like you don't need to spend too much money on it. With eyeshadow primer, I'm very picky though. I was gonna get a drugstore one again, but I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and invest in my MAC one again because it's worked perfectly for me. But yeah, let's get into the video. I'm just gonna start with my transition shade with the powder foundation. As I kind of go in, I just start in the crease primarily, and I just do a light sweep of it, just to kind of even everything out. Just to make the blending a little easier, because the thing with this primer, I let it sit for a minute before I go, at least a minute before I go in with any of my shadows. But the reason why I put this powder foundation on first is just so everything blends a little easier, because this primer is very sticky, but not like sticky, like it doesn't feel sticky, but the way the shadows adhere to it can be pretty sticky. So we're just starting with that. As you can see, it just kind of evens everything out, and just creates a smooth base. Also, I always have this makeup, what's it called? Like, it's just a makeup brush cleaner. I got this one from Daiso. I always repurchase these at least like once a year. I always clean it, but I always change them out every once in a while. But yeah, we're gonna go in with the spring palette. I'm going to start with a transition shade. I'm really wanting to use this like magenta purpley color. I do like this brown as well, but I want to use, I think I'm going to start with this taupe shade right here, this light taupe. and kind of work from there and see what happens. So I'm gonna go in with my Morphe X Ariel brush. I bought this whole collection of brushes when it was on sale when I worked at Ulta, and I really like them. Okay, we're gonna start with that shade in the crease. So I kind of just wanted to do like a first impressions / tutorial. Yeah, you can barely tell that's there. Honestly, the shade looks pretty similar to my skin tone. I love the finish though, it's satin. Definitely gonna want to add more depth though, but I think for a transition shade, this isn't too bad. And the reason why I do my eyes first is because it's easier to clean up. And I am wearing, I always have cluster lash extensions on. I got this new lash glue and it's been working really fabulously for my eyes so far. It's worked better than other brands I've used. Also, after I go in with each shade, I blend out. This is the, I think this is Eco Tools. I've had this brush for years and it's my favorite blending brush. I got it at Marshall's, I think, or something like that. But let me show you the lash glue I'm using. I got it on Amazon. LZM Bond and Seal. This stuff works great. I've used other brands. I really like this one though. Like, it doesn't come off easily. I've had these on for a week. They look almost as good as when I first applied them. I would say there is a little lifting on this side, but it's not too extreme, so I'm really happy with that. And then actually, I'm gonna go in with this kind of orange shade right here. I think I'm gonna concentrate it like in my crease as well, maybe a little above it, but I'm gonna try that out. I always like tap off excess as well. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's because I've used the powder foundation as a transition, but so far these are looking a little sheer. I mean, you can kind of see it. I think I would say the formula is pretty buildable, but so far it's coming off a little sheer. When I did swatch both of these palettes when I purchased them, and yeah, they did, some of the shades did come off as sheer. But yeah, these were both like $2 to $3 each, so I'm not complaining. Now I'm gonna go in with this tapered blending brush. My mom gave this to me. She got it through Ipsy. I don't recall which brand it is, but I'm gonna go in with that bronzier kind of shade, and I'm gonna use this shadow shield. I know it's silly. I only use it because I have my cluster lashes. Whenever I'm working with shimmers or anything on my lid itself, I like to put this guy on just because it's easier to clean up. But I'm gonna go in with that bronzy kind of brown shade. But what I do is I press it firmly against my lid and I just apply it from there. So, but I'm gonna concentrate it on the outer part. Oh, okay, this is more pigmented, that's good. But yeah, I'm gonna just concentrate it in the outer V. Yeah, that already looks more of what I'm wanting to achieve. So I'm happy about that. I'm going back in with that other Morphe brush and just whatever's left on it, just blending it out. Yeah, it's cute, it's bronzy. I'm wanting more color though, but for now, we'll just add the depth with the bronze. There is some fallout in the pan, I am noticing that when I'm picking up the color. But not anything too crazy. The reason why I buy cheap brands like this and discontinued palettes is because like formulas I feel like used to be so much more satin. I feel like it's so hard to find satin finish eyeshadows. I can barely see if there's a little bit of fallout. What I do is I get like a tissue and just pat it off so that doesn't get on my other lashes. So I'm gonna go in on the other side, but yeah, I'll show you what I mean. So I picked up that shade. See how there's a little bit of fallout? It's not too bad. I'm not picky about fallout, because I always do my eye makeup first for that reason. Yeah, I love this color. These blend pretty well too. I will say I did also purchase a LA Colors palette, and so far I am liking this formula more. I'm gonna have to do some cleanup because it keeps wanting to go off into the side. But yeah, the key with these eyeshadow shields is to press it really firmly against the lid where the lash is. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. I got this LA Colors palette, the 16 color. This is the Haute palette. It's right there. Miss Roseanne here on YouTube. I also love her. I watch her videos a lot. They're really cozy to me. She influenced me to buy this palette, and I do like it. I will say, when you mix the shades together, they do muddy really easily. So I'm not sure if all of their formulas are like that, but from my experience, pretty muddy. I heard that the newer palettes are a little different though, so please share in the comments your experience with their formula. I'd be curious to know. I would be curious to know if it's any better, any worse, because I think that colorful palette has been around for a couple years. Anyway, so I like how these colors are looking so far. I'm gonna add more, obviously. I always prep with these toner pads, but I'm gonna take what's left on it and kind of remove any excess product. This is an easy way for me to do cleanup, which is also why I do my eyes first. I'm just really wondering what shade I should do next, but I think I'm gonna go in, I really want to use this like pale pink. It's super pretty. I'm gonna use that on the lid. I want to use a more dense brush with it, so I'm gonna use Labels Worn Off. These are from Amazon. They're actually pretty good for the price. But I'm gonna go in with that kind of pale pinky shade just by itself, and I'm gonna go in on the lid. Oh wait, that is really pretty. Ooh, yep. Oh my god, that is a gorgeous color. I don't want this look to be too vanilla though. Like, I want it to have some personality, so I might do like a colorful liner with it or something, but I really like the textures with these shadows are really easy to like because they blend pretty well. They're relatively buildable. As far as affordable, I could see why Sabrina likes this. I always trust her opinion when it comes to eyeshadow. Yeah, but you can see how on this eye I did 2 layers and this one I did 1. So I would argue this formula is buildable, which I can't get mad at. I'd rather it be buildable and easy to blend than not. So yeah, they're very easy to blend, very buildable. Again, beautiful like satin finish. But I'm definitely gonna want to go into some purples because this look is a little too vanilla and a little too boring for me. So I'm gonna go in with that magenta color that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, I'm gonna go in with this small tapered brush again from this same Amazon brand, and I'm gonna go in with that purple. And I kind of just want to put it more on the outer V and then into the crease a bit. Ooh, that looks good. I really like how that looks. Okay, and then blending it. Yeah, I'm gonna build it up more, but I really like how that looks. So to add more to add more saturation, the key is to tap it. It's always what I recommend. Yeah, these are very easy to blend. Not a bad thing. They muddy a little bit. It's kind of hard to tell, but I do notice it. I think that's a common occurrence with more affordable brands sometimes is that they can muddy. But to be fair, as you saw, I've layered like 10 million different colors together. Yeah, I think I want to do a liner with this because, yeah, I mean, it does kind of muddy, just a hair. And there's a bit of fallout. That's what I would say as far as the formula. I think also, because I just went in with the purple on both sides, I'm gonna go in with, I think this kind of darker gold. It's not super dark, but I'm gonna go in with it on my upper crease. I don't know how to explain that, just this part. I don't know how I would describe it, honestly, and I've been doing makeup for a bit. I guess it's like my upper crease. But I'm just going in with this kind of flat, soft flat brush. Yeah, I mean, the pigment with these guys is a little minimal. I think that's a pretty common occurrence with palettes like this from 10 years ago. But, you know, it almost reminds me of, as far as the pigmentation, it almost reminds me of luxury brands, because I feel like it's so trendy for luxury brands to have sheared buildable formulas with their eyeshadows. Specifically like Chanel, Dior sometimes. So the quality I wouldn't say is the same, but it reminds me of that as far as the payoff. Man, I'm just wondering what else I should do. I want to try that deep purple, but I think I might just do like a really small brush and just concentrate it on the crease. So I'm thinking like, this is Bailey, again, worn off, probably from Amazon too. I think I'm gonna go into that shade a little bit in the crease, but I'm using a smaller tapered brush so I can have a little more control. So I'm gonna pick it up, and, or actually, since it's a matte, I more so like to use this with the shimmers, but since it's matte, I think it should be okay as far as the fallout, because I'm more concerned about how it's gonna get on my lashes, because I don't know if you can see a little bit. When I get shimmer fallout on my lashes, it's a lot harder to clean up, but usually with the mattes, it's not as bad. Oh yeah. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. So I would say with the mattes, they're a little more pigmented. Yeah. Look at that. You see that? I hope it's showing up on camera okay. Ooh, you know, I kind of just like leaving it in the crease like that. I was gonna do it as like an outer V situation, but honestly, that looks really cool. So I'm just, again, just tapping it and then kind of dragging it in the crease. Ooh, okay, I like that. I like how that frames my eye. I like when things are more tapered and more concentrated on the outer part. I think it frames my eye shape really well. So I like how that looks. Usually, the smaller the brush itself, the easier it is to control. But yeah, honestly, for the price, I could see why these palettes were so hyped up during its time. And the reason why I purchased this palette, even though it is discontinued, is because it was still sealed in the box. One thing they don't tell you, especially with eyeshadows usually tend to last longer, but especially if a product is sealed, as soon as you open it, obviously it's more likely to expire. But I did do a patch test with these shadows on my hand and it seemed fine. If I get any allergic reactions, I will report back on that, but honestly, I think it should be okay. But that looks like the completed look. I'm just gonna blend it out a little more. I like that there's a mix of like bronzy and cool tone. I think it's fun. I like to do a combination of neutrals and colorful shades, but I like how this looks. I'm gonna go in with some liner. I'm gonna look through what I have. Okay, I have an idea. So this is the Kiora Beauty Pencil Kohl Liner. It's like this metallic olive green. I got this from Daiso. I think what I'm gonna do, because my favorite thing to do recently is to do a shimmer liner towards the inner part of my eye, and then do like a black or like a brown on the outer edge. So I'm gonna go in with this color up here, and then I think I'm gonna go with like a deep brown. I think there's a color, honestly I'll just probably use like this grayish black on the outer part. I just like to add more definition to the outer part of my eye, as I mentioned earlier, but I'm gonna do it off camera so I can focus a little easier. So I will say, as far as this Kiora pencil, kohl pencil, it is a little firm as far as the formula. I mean, it's smooth enough to where you can glide it on your lid and it not necessarily be an issue, but I am noticing when I'm applying it, it does feel like a little stiff. I just wanted to point that out in case anyone was interested in picking up this formula at your local Daiso. I think it was only like $1, so why not, you know what I mean? But yeah, and also when I do like a liner on top with a darker shadow, my favorite brush to use is this MAC 210. I bought this brush at a cosmetic company store. If you're not familiar, those are stores that usually have, I mean those in particular, because the luxury beauty stores, ooh, this color's pretty. The luxury beauty stores usually carry L'Oreal brands, but the cosmetic company store always carries Estee Lauder brand, so they always have MAC or Clinique, Too Faced, etc. But I don't know if you can see, there's fallout from me applying a darker shadow. But one thing I like to do with fallout as well is I like to grab a fluffy brush like this and sweep it up. It's really gonna help to like pick up most of the fallout. But yeah, that's where I got this brush from. Here are the completed eyes. I'll do a more up close shot once I finish the rest of my base. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try to use one of these shades under my brow too once I put on my brows. I think I'm gonna use this like kind of frostier grayish tone. But I'll come back to you guys. I'll let you know my final thoughts, and yeah. Just finished the rest of the makeup. Fixed my hair a bit because it was driving me crazy. But yeah, this is the completed look and the eyes using this spring palette from Beauty Treats. I love this lip I did. So I used mauve lip liner from Revlon, and then I went with syrup from MAC, and then One and Only by Shani. So I wanted like a cool tone, pinky kind of lip. But yeah, my final thoughts are formula's pretty good, especially for the price. It's pretty decent. Little bit of issues with blending, I would say, which I kind of expected with a lot of affordable formulas. They tend to muddy a little bit. Not as muddy as LA Colors, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I'm happy with it. I think also I'm noticing the lighter shades did sheer out a bit, but I would say this formula is very, like very palatable. I feel like a lot of people would be happy with it. I think, I don't know, I'm not too upset at it, even though I don't know, I wouldn't say, not the more I'm looking at it, maybe it's not that it's muddy, I think it's the fact that they fade easily. Maybe that's my main, I guess, issue. Sorry, my bangs are driving me crazy. I guess my main issue with this formula would be that they, if anything, they fade. I would say this formula fades a bit because they blend okay. I think since the formula is relatively sheer, yeah, because it's sheer to buildable, I don't know, I could see why it would fade a bit, but I mean, overall, it looks pretty good. I'm not upset at it. I've definitely used worse affordable eyeshadow formulas, so I'm really happy with how it turned out. If you guys want to see more videos like this, feel free to let me know. Yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day. Let me know what you think. If you have any suggestions for other makeup related videos, feel free to let me know. I think I want to do like a full face tutorial, because I just did my base routine. I just updated it and really happy with how it's been turning out recently. So yeah, bye.